In recent videos, we've been talking a lot about the games we're releasing around this period. Yesterday, we covered Death's Gambit, and it shocked us how so many of you were unaware of that game. And it's really dawned on me that there are so many interesting games being released even during this summer period. Sure, I'll give you the fact that they aren't having posters on a marquee or commercials running, but damn, there are some interesting games coming out. In today's video, we're covering another one of those games, a game that has really captivated me and captured my interest, the mind-bending thriller that is known as State of Mind. Being developed and published by Daedalic Entertainment. Those guys have published some other fantastic games recently, including the excellent strategy game in Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun, the story-driven Ken Follett's The Pillars of Earth, and now 2018 cyberpunk thriller in State of Mind. Cyberpunk games are still few and far between, but it seems like it's a setting that's been gathering more attention, especially in the gaming space, after the announcement of Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red's next title. And that's a great thing because Cyberpunk games aesthetically are usually fantastic. State of Mind is a game that so many of you are probably unfamiliar with, so let's get you caught up to speed with the background and setting of this game. The title is set in Berlin, the year 2048. The world is on the brink. A lack of resources, illness has been spreading due to polluted air and water, crime is on the rise, war is gripping its hand around the world. Governments and companies are promising remedies through technological advancements and progress. The public sector, however, is weakening in actual humans. Rather, they are being replaced by drones and humanoid robots. And everything is interconnected and surveillance has become omnipresent. State of Mind has a total of 5 playable characters, and a 6th being the main driver of the story, Richard Nolan. Richard is a journalist and one of the few that is criticizing the ever-changing state and development of this seemingly new world. An explosion occurs and that leaves Richard awakening in a hospital to find out that out of nowhere almost, his wife and son have vanished. Richard comes to the conclusion he and his family are more than just extra NPCs, so to speak, in a world where ideas are clashing in regards to humankind's salvation between a dystopian reality and a digital utopia. And they are at the center of this clash. There's domestic drama, but really a thriller about this worldwide conspiracy, which is determining the path of humanity in this world. Is this digital new world the answer to all the human problems? A digital utopia is seemingly too good to be true. Is a world dictated and consumed by a virtual paradise where physical and materialistic quarrels are a thing of the past? Or would a world like that leave humans to be a disposable asset and ultimately be the world's wrongdoing? So just that was a mouthful, but State of Mind is delving into some very mature and thought-provoking topics, in a story that will without a doubt have multiple layers to it and debatable ideas. This doesn't seem to be a game with a clear right and wrong, rather it is a game that really brings everything to light and challenges all of these different viewpoints. We've seen games try to tackle mature topics before, and it's something that is very hard to deliver on, but it has been done, and that's why my hope for State of Mind is so high. A dystopian reality where digitalism, surveillance, and transhumanism is all explored. Not only that, there is obviously so much mystery to the game, and one of the focal points will be the main character, Richard Nolan's past. To discover this past, you'll need to use dexterity, deductional skills, and research. And as I mentioned, Richard Nolan is just one character. He is the main character, but there are 5 other playable characters, and no doubt that they will have a massive influence to the course of the story. Here's what the game's author, Martin Gondafor, had to say about the game so you can get some direct insight. Quote, State of Mind is a game about transhumanism, and it's all in bet on the future. It is, however, not a game about the technology of tomorrow, but about tomorrow's people. In the center of this narrative is the motif of separation and reunion. What happens if the future creates fractures between body and mind, between reality and constructs, between biological and virtual ego? He continues by saying State of Mind picks up the idea to make something whole from fragments. Richard, our protagonist, has to rearrange and sort out his life. He has to endure disruptions of social, technological, and very personal nature. The motif of fragments, clearly visible in the key visuals and style, transcends the whole game. It is embedded in the narrative structure, the visuals, the main characters, core concepts, and even in the mechanics of reconstruction. So a lot to take from the story front. There's a lot to this game.
They scan everything. Do you understand? Everything that bots, drones, cabs, and HoloLenses see and hear, sense and do? You can reconstruct anyone's life with all that information. You can create a whole simulated world.
At the moment, we're uploading 750 people a day that want to build a better world.
Now, I've talked so much about this game's story, and that's good. That is without a doubt the biggest element to the game, but let's be honest, just a quick glance at the game, it's hard not to be judgmental about this art style because it's so different, so unique, and I think that complements the cyberpunk setting and thematics that the game is tackling. The exact visual style is said to be combining realistic environments with low poly characters. However you want to slice it, I absolutely love it, but I do feel it's going to be a little divisive where some people are going to be turned off by it. But in a gaming landscape where there is a lot of sameness, a game going for something so stark, something that sticks out so much, I personally will commend it, but again, it's something that some of you might disagree on.
I'm a journalist, Frank, not a stenographer.
You were a journalist, and a damn good one.
And what am I now?
You've turned into a man with an agenda.
What will happen to my memory module?
That's not relevant. It doesn't belong to you. Nothing of yours belongs to you. You don't belong to you.
They promised that we would become one with the machines, the world spirit, the universe. They promised that we would become immortal. They promised to make gods of us, but they did not mean us. If you are with us, fight with us.
And presentation is such a core element of this game. Judging from the trailers that have been released so far, the music and sound direction are on point too. As I mentioned at the top of this video, this is a thriller. It's supposed to be heart-pounding, and you get that heart-pounding thriller vibe from it right away based on the trailers. And that coupled with the very interesting narrative and presentation, there's a concoction developing here that is very promising. Now, State of Mind is a game that is releasing very, very soon, and the early reviews have actually come in, so I want to take a quick look at that. Now, bear in mind that all of the reviews aren't currently in, and if you want a more in-depth look, we'll leave links to the reviews mentioned in the description box below. PlayStation Universe's John Paul Jones scored the game an 8 out of 10, saying, quote, "State of Mind is commendably well presented, if challenge-light effort that dives headfirst into its deep and winding subject matter with a nary over its polygonal shoulder. A mature adventure, then that proves itself a worthy descriptor." Again, he scored the game an 8 out of 10, a very respectable score. DarkStation.com's Drew Capira said this about the game. From the gameplay point of view, State of Mind may stagger, but for cyberpunk lovers, its story and clean-cut visual design demand to be experienced. He scored the game a 4 out of 5, again, that works out to an 8 out of 10. I would say that's a very respectable score as well, and both these reviews seem to have a commonality in that the gameplay, that doesn't seem to be a core and focal element in the game and something that'll absorb you completely. PlayStation Universe's John Paul again described it as a challenge-light effort, and DarkStation.com's Drew Capira did say from the gameplay point of view, State of Mind may stagger. So you're really going into this game for the presentation, the thematics, the sound design, things like that. From what I'm gathering about the game, that's where this game really shines. Again, both of those reviews will be linked in the description box below, so give it a look if you want a more in-depth assessment of State of Mind, and considering how unique and different this game is, a more in-depth look is something that you should probably look at before buying it yourself. Speaking of buying it yourself, State of Mind is actually out tomorrow on August 15th. After hearing me talk, what do you think about the game? Is this a game that has grabbed your attention? I'm really curious to hear what you guys think of the art style as well, because again, it's very unique on that front, and the whole presentation, the story, I feel like it's a game that's going to captivate a lot of gamers, but at the same time, it's a game that some people will shy away from because it is tackling such mature topics, and topics that some people don't even like to see being explored in gaming. As for the game itself, it will be releasing at a somewhat hefty $39.99, $35.99 if you pre-order it, so if you have any interest in the game, I would recommend you to pre-order it ASAP because you will save $4. Do keep in mind that it is set to be a 15-hour long experience, so this isn't going to be a 4 to 5 hour long game. This is a lengthy experience, so that price is a little bit justified. Pre-ordering the game will also grant you a State of Mind theme for you to download right away. So that's going to conclude this video. State of Mind is looking to be a very interesting game, and again, I want to hear what you guys think. I haven't heard too many people talk about the game, so hopefully I was able to bring it to light, and maybe some of you guys are very impressed with what this game has to offer. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
At the moment, we're uploading 750 people a day that want to build a better world. As you know, our project has entered a decisive phase. We are on the brink of success, the beginning of a new civilization.